Bobsheaux? Absolutely yes! This channel is the absolute best. Well, not the best and all. He probably isn't even in my top 10 favorite YouTube channels, unfortunately, as much as I love the guy. But this guy just rocks so unbelievably much. For those who don't know who Bobsheaux is a YouTube film and show reviewer and stuff like that. And he makes excellent videos talking about the great, the bad, and the ugly of various films that he's requested, or he just simply discovers, or comes across, or thinks about taking a look at. And despite this type of channel being everywhere on YouTube, there's something about Bob's show that just always sticks with me, and honestly, I have loved him ever since then. I don't frequently watch his videos and binge watch them all the time, though I did do that quite a bit back in the day. But when I do watch them, I always leave them with a feeling of happiness and closure. There's just something so satisfying about watching a Bob Show video. And some of my favorites are definitely, well, if I were to list them all out, they would definitely be a long list in terms of some of my favorite videos from him. And yeah, it is very satisfying at times to see terrible schlock get the things that it deserves. And trust me, when I say terrible schlock, I mean it, because I have indeed seen some absolutely terrible stuff in my time. But anyways, some of the things that are fun about Bob Show is that he often submits very bad films and all to a little box, which I've forgotten the name of, but it has a little skull on it. That's always fun. And also, he, I believe, is married or is engaged with or has a girlfriend. I don't know exactly. Maybe it's just a friend, though I doubt it. I'm not exactly sure. I can't remember because I haven't seen a lot of his videos in a long time. But I believe he's married or whatever to a woman named Raven, who often has an OC and stuff like that, which used to be just simply a little still image that was a raven next to like a rose and stuff like that in the logo. But yeah, she's also fun and sweet and enjoyable. I don't think he is. I don't think he is, but he may be. I'm not exactly sure. But I believe Bob Show is a bit of a furry. I may or may not be wrong, but I don't really care about that, to be honest. I mean, to each their own, I suppose. I can't really speak for myself, really, because of my own interests. Not going into that. Anyways, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. Other fun things about him are his various review style, which is very similar to that of Decker's Shadow, and dare I even say Nostalgia Critic, which very often he's referred to Nostalgia Critic at times. He's never done a crossover with him, which I don't think, but he definitely has a similar style to him, but I often enjoy his videos even more than some of Nostalgia Critic's classics, to be honest. And a lot of Nostalgia Critic's classics can be really great at times, even if there are quite a lot of terrible videos. But yeah, Bob Show's very insightful, he's analytic, very critical, and he can be a very fair person and all. He can sometimes even be complimentary at times towards some of the most terrible things on earth. He doesn't just bash things, treating them like the worst things ever, though sometimes he does that, and it's justified. But if you were to review something like, I don't know, for example, The Little Cars 5 to 8 or something, as much as they suck, he still has to bring up the fact that there are a few positives, like the fact that the female racers don't even look that feminine, which means that they're not like stereotyping them or anything. The stands are actually, filled with crowds and stuff like that, and the roads don't look like TV snow, they actually look like roads on the racetrack. Can't say the same thing for other things involving cars. But, that's, again, the story that has been mentioned many times before. Now that we know who Bob Show is and some of his characteristics that I love about him, what about some of his individual videos and things he's done and said? There are plenty of videos that I love from him. One that comes to mind and all is the Pixar Theory Debunked video, which I wholeheartedly agree on, because of a few videos from Super Carlin Brothers and a few other people, I believed the whole Pixar Theory fiasco for a while. And now in retrospective, it is very stupid. And so many leaps of logic are present here, and you have to fit in various other things like Soul and Inside Out, The Good Dinosaur, and it becomes an overcomplicated, illogical mess. But besides that, there are plenty more videos. From his Elf Bowling review, yeah, there's a film called Elf Bowling, which is about Santa who was once a pirate, then coming across a bunch of elves in the North Pole and doing bowling with them from time to time, and then there's his evil brother Dingle, I believe. I wasn't lying when I said that I've seen some terrible stuff over the years. There's also his videos on terrible things like, Jesus Christ, Rhapsody Street Kids. Oh Lord. One of the most infamous, terrifying looking animated atrocities ever, and yet it had blooming Luke Skywalker for crying out loud in it. Yeah, Mark Hamill. As well as plenty of other famous celebrities somehow. Well, Food Fight had the same thing, but whatever. Anyways, what else? Oh yeah, his review of Tentacolino is pretty darn funny, and man, what a acid trip that film is. There's his reviews of terrible Video Brinquedo ripoffs from Ratatouille. Hey, I actually got it right for once. Balloon to the Rescue, which, am I saying that right? Oh yeah, What's Up, Balloon to the Rescue, my bad. Little and Big Monsters, and the Little Cars. Video Brinquedo has a very big obsession with little in their title, don't they? Speaking of which, there's also the Little Panda Fighter. Oh god. And very recently, it seems that a lot of people in the Cars community are bringing up the terrible knockoffs. Not very much with stuff like Cars Life, which is from a different company, Sparkplug Entertainment, but more so with the Little Cars films. And I am honestly way more familiar with these films than I honestly care to be, mostly thanks to Bobshow's great videos, plus videos from other people, like Nostalgia Critic himself at times, and oh, what else? What's his name? Oh yeah, Scarfaloo, if I'm saying that right. He's also made a couple of videos on those kinds of films. He's also made videos on Kiara the Brave, which, man, that was incredibly stupid and bizarre and dumb. There's the whole Cool Cat Saves the Kids fiasco, which, with him, I Hate Everything, Josiah Clark, my bad, I'm sounding British again, and a bunch of other people, they all had their videos getting taken down by Derek Savage because of the whole copyright thing. Thankfully, that was all sorted out. I hope, at least for most people. Typical YouTube and companies and stuff like that. The government letting people get away with infamous, ridiculous copyright strikes like that. Then there's the whole Transformers thing where, unlike the rest of these where I mostly agree with them, he really cannot stand the original trilogy of Transformers films, but I respect his opinion. He does have his own reasons, and he does occasionally acknowledge the positives. And he does actually enjoy Transformers Age of Extinction. Even though, in retrospective, I don't consider it canon, it is definitely better than The Last Night. Ugh. And what else? Oh, of course, how can I forget to mention the somehow 8 Alpha and Omega films? Jeez. How on earth are there so many Alpha... I mean, they're not being made anymore, but how on earth are there so many of them? Let alone who asked for more than just one? And then there's also various other videos, like his Beauty and the Beast review, or his review of the Hero of Color City, a couple of, I believe there's multiple of them, Candyland films as well. And there was also his video on my least favorite film of all time. I think you know where I'm going with this. The Emoji Movie. Ugh. But yeah, that was also a great video. Not to mention that apparently he made a great big commentary video on Food Fight, which I believe got taken down, and he made a memoriam about it. And because of the fact that he has a couple plushies on his desk, or at least in some old videos that it is, I constantly think that he was at one point a fan of Food Fight, and then when I saw that there was a memoriam video with the title Food Fight Memoriam, I thought it was like a honoring video towards Food Fight. I was like, wait, he actually likes Food Fight? But no, he doesn't. He obviously just jokes around about it. It's a long story. And of course, there's some of the more important videos. I mean, as great as it is to see terrible garbage like the Alpha and Omega sequels or the Emoji Movie, Elf Bowling, Ratatouille, etc., as great as it is to see those getting trashed, it's so important to see great things, especially the ones that I care about, getting treated properly. Of course, I'm talking about Charlie and the Chocolate Factory with his video on that, and of course his 2 Cars 2 and 3 reviews. Oh wow. Thank you so much, Bobsheaux, for those. Ever since I discovered Nostalgia Critic's videos on cars and seeing all the terrible bashing that was so prominent on YouTube over the years, that was always going towards cars, especially Cars 2, I couldn't take it anymore. I was almost ashamed to be a Cars fan, constantly keeping it a secret. not telling my parents about the whole thing about cars often getting hated on, or at least did for the most part. And that whole thing, it was saddening and really upsetting that my favorite franchise was getting bashed by so many people, even people I respected at times. But those videos from Bobsheaux fly in the face of all that, defending these films, sticking up for them. Even though he doesn't find Cars 2 the best out of all of Pixar's films, he still sticks by it and would definitely hide with it in the corner, protecting it. That is very admirable, and I have to thank Bobsheaux so much for that. Not to mention his Cars 3 review is also pretty darn good too. Though he does make one mistake in all, saying that McQueen's the last of his kind during his crash sequence. I believe Buck Bearingley, Brian Spark, Revan Go Racer, and who else? Murray Clutchburn, Paunchy Wipeout, and a bunch of others. I think they want to know Bobshow's location. And also, of course, there's a Charlie and the Chocolate Factory review, which is also really darn great. And I really enjoyed it too. It's a long video, but you should definitely go check that out as well. And obviously, you know my whole thoughts on Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, as well as the classic as well, kind of. And yeah, a sort of similar treatment was often given towards Charlie and the Chocolate Factory for a while. And the more and more I went on and all, I'd say after 2017 was when that whole depression after realizing my favorite franchises were often getting bashed thing was starting to end. And I was actually starting to like join groups of people that were defending these films, like people who are building the Poseidon in Minecraft, people who are making fan art of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, collecting Cars diecasts, FNAF animations, you name it. Although that last thing has existed for a long time now. It's just a breath of fresh air, and I have to thank Bobsheaux so much for that. And a lot of moments in his videos that even made me cry at times, such as that end credits bit of the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory video with him singing. That's really, really heartwarming. And also, any part of his Cars 2 and Cars 3 videos as well is very touching, I must say. In short, go watch at least one of Bobshow's videos, then come back and tell me what you think of him, unless you already have watched multiple of his videos, which I assume several of you have. But yeah, please just go support Bobsheaux. He truly does deserve it. You want to know who hates Bobsheaux? Plenty of idiots on the internet like UTTP users and tons of characters I hate as well as all the characters from various things that he's made videos on that are terrible, like the Rhapsody Street Kids themselves, any character from Elf Bowling, all the characters from the Video Burn Quato ripoffs, any character from the Emoji Movie or Food Fight, any character from Tentacolino, the Alpha and Omega pups especially, I must say, Cool Cat himself, and a bunch of others. They would all go after Bobsheaux and try to strangle him, I must say. But thankfully, fans like me of Bobsheaux are not going to let that happen to him anytime soon. You want to know who likes him? Me? Thousands upon other people, and tons of characters that we all like as well. We all wish that this channel would reach 10 million subscribers, because he truly does deserve it, and more. So yeah, go subscribe to Bobsheaux. He deserves all the love he gets. End of salute.